more and more smoke, leading to the fire that is Keegan Bradley being on this team as a player.
Yeah, I think we're all expecting it at this point. And, Keegan, he knows he can't play poorly in the playoffs. Like, he knows he needs to keep momentum going. And if he continues to play well, he's going to be on this team.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Christopher Sanchez of the Philadelphia Phillies is one of 3 Major League Baseball pitchers to have a 7-start span featuring an undefeated record, a sub-1.5 ERA, 50 or more innings pitched, 50 or more strikeouts, fewer than 5 walks, no more than 1 home run allowed.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rhythm. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
One big problem for NBC, too many on-air cooks for the coverage, particularly on the weekends. Having 4 on-air teams separate time, divide the time, was really outrageous. You had Mike Tirico and his partner. You had Dan Hicks, NBC Sports' lead golf commentator, and his partner. You had Steve Sands from Golf Channel and his partner. And you had Terry Gann, who, by the way, if you don't know, is going to become an NBA play-by-play voice.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions with you here on a Wednesday night on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh for the next 90 minutes as we get you ready for some late night Major League Baseball. We do have a late game in the WNBA and a lot of important news in the NFL that could impact the futures market, will certainly impact the preseason games that you'll be betting on over the next few days, and an injury in LA that might just shake up the futures market. Matthew Stafford, the Rams quarterback, not inspiring a ton of confidence. We will talk to the Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, in 10 minutes right here on Game Time Decisions to get his thoughts on the Rams starting quarterback. We also get an absolute honor to have Cam Stewart here on Game Time Decisions at the top of the hour, 30 minutes away, as we are set up for a big golf tournament starting tomorrow, and getting some thoughts from him around the Major League Baseball world and, of course, NFL. We begin tonight, though, with a look at the best bets from the crew and myself, and we have most of the remaining baseball slate covered. At 6:45, which is not far away, we have an A's team total from Pat, playing that at 4.5 minus 120. Not mad at that, as that game yesterday had runs aplenty. We'll see if it is a similar setup here today in the nation's capital. AJ goes to the Diamondbacks money line with Desclafani getting the ball against Nestor Cortez. I played the D-backs in the first 2 of this series for a split. I don't mind a look on Arizona and a fade of Nestor Cortez, who has not thrown a pitch in the bigs in quite some time. I will be involved in Mariners White Sox, and I will be involved in Braves Brewers. But the main event on this slate tonight has to be Red Sox Royals, and I'm involved in the game, and so is, of course, our guy Casino Chris. Chris looks for runs across the both sides of these teams here. 3+ from each at minus 110. I am focused in on Vinny Pasquantino for this Kansas City lineup, batting in the 3 spot for 2+ hit run RBI at minus 125. Pasquantino has been strong against righties. Dustin May has struggled against lefties. And for me, I am willing to fade Dustin May in his first start for the Boston Red Sox. We've seen some up and down performances for pitchers making their debut with new teams post-deadline. Dustin May, I believe, is the last that we are still waiting on as far as it goes to make that new start deadline acquisitions here. He does not enter into a situation with a ton of pressure, but he is trying to keep a streak going, as the Boston Red Sox are right now the hottest team in Major League Baseball, at least over the last week, as they have won 7 consecutive games entering into tonight's matchup with KC. And Boston's offense has been fantastic during this stretch run. The pitching, it's not like it's been much worse, as their Cy Young candidate in Garrett Crochet yesterday went 7 strong, only 2 earned, 8 strikeouts to just 1 walk. Handed it over to the bullpen, who did what they've done throughout, again, a lot of this season. The Red Sox bullpen has been fantastic. This run here for Boston, though, is an eye-catching one for myself, and it's an eye-catching one for the books. Yesterday, we did Kevin 7, and I opted to leave Boston out. But I had discussed where feeling as if they were absolutely worthy of consideration, and they were the first team that I left out. They would have been the 8th team when I'm talking about the best teams in Major League Baseball. But the big thing for Boston is now the way the odds have grown in confidence for this team. The World Series price going from the mid, 2,500 range to 21-1 to 17-1 now, as this group is getting a lot of confidence that they are, at minimum, going to be in the playoffs, and rightfully so. We showed it and we'll show it again. The Red Sox have had quite the season, but there was a moment in time where Boston and the playoffs were not expected at all, as this team was sub 500, trading away Rafael Devers, and rightfully, they were hand-waved in the conversation of making the American League playoffs. Now, it feels as if Boston is absolutely going to make the Toronto Blue Jays earn an AL East pennant. Boston is down to plus 260 in that race. Now, I know Toronto is coming off of their most dominant series of this season. The Toronto Blue Jays have a run differential of plus 55 on the year after today's 20-1 victory against the Rockies. They were plus, I believe, 39 in this series. So the Blue Jays were more dominant in this 3-game stretch than they had been in the entire season removed from this 3-game window here. That shows how awful the Rockies are. It shows how hot the Toronto bats can certainly get as well. But Toronto follows up those 3 with 3 in LA against the Dodgers. And then it's 3 against Chicago, and it's 3 against Texas. All teams either fully expected to be in the playoffs or fighting for postseason positioning. So the Red Sox, who in their upcoming games go to San Diego, go to Houston, they don't have easy matchups as well. But if they can find themselves in the win column, Toronto is vulnerable to drop back. And the other thing is Boston is right now, and I know the Yankees put a win up on the board, Boston is stiff-arming the New York Yankees within this race. The Yankees are closer to being out of the playoffs than the Yankees are to catching the Red Sox for the second place. Forget the first place, the second place spot within this AL East race. It gives you an idea of the caliber of baseball that Boston is playing. And I know that yesterday myself and Tom went back and forth on the notion of pedigree as it related to the Houston Astros. And fine, I'll be the person that believes in postseason pedigree. Well, Boston has it just simply through Alex Cora being their manager. That's the reality. And that stuff carries over. And that, I know that it's hard to quantify perfectly, but when you have a team like the Red Sox, be halfway into the season, sub 500, and trade away what is seen as the best player on your team in Rafael Devers, or, one of the three best guys, right? One of the foundational pieces. And for that to turn around and be this, it is absolutely noteworthy. And the Red Sox do feel like a team that there are people I'm sure that have caught much better numbers on Boston than what is currently out there. If Boston wins the AL East, I think it is absolutely on the board that they then will be favorites to win the American League, regardless of what happens in the Central or the West. We'll talk some football with the Pro Football Doc after this commercial break on SportsGrid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Back with you right here on SportsGrid. It is Game Time Decisions. And we are in the time of year where NFL injury news can be tricky to figure out how much you want to read into it. And I think the older the player is, interestingly enough, the more cautious you want to be in an overreaction, because the more veteran the player, the more cautious a team is going to be with, at least my expectation is, they're then going to be running them out there. Zach Bond, I don't even know if he's practiced yet for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think the Eagles are overly concerned about running Zach Bond out there for, or hurrying Zach Bond out there because it's practice. He had a great season. It's not like he's a rookie. There's time. So you can take that and you can multiply it probably by 10 when you think about Matthew Stafford, the LA Rams projected starting quarterback who enters into his age 37 season. He's been in this league for 15 plus years at this point. And although they're bringing in a new important piece like Davante Adams, I'm sure Matthew Stafford and I'm sure the LA Rams believe that it is far more important for Stafford to be 110% week number one than worry about some on-air reps that he would need to pick up with Davante Adams. However, with all of that said, has anyone seen a report out of LA that makes them feel comfortable, that makes them feel as if, nothing to see here, nothing to see here? Not for me. Now, sometimes I might overreact. So that's why we bring in the pro football doctor, Dr. David Chow, who will let us know, is this super important? Is this not important? I got to tell you, Doc, and we appreciate you making some time. It's a shame we're not in season and we don't get a shiny 6-score next to the Rams offense there, and I could just automatically know whether this is a worry or not. It's closer than we think. But tell us, Doc, what are you making of the Matthew Stafford injury news?
We've been saying for a while, and at the Sports News Central Pro Football Doc podcast, this is a bigger deal than what Sean McVay was making it out to be. It started off as a nothing to see here, and it became week to week. But here's the key. How do you get a back injury in the off season without traumatic contact? It's almost better if he gets hit, has a transverse process fracture. We know it'll heal in a couple weeks. This has an open timeline, and we've been opining for a week here that it could involve his disc, which is now the nerve. And now that news has been released. So what is the outcome? It depends on how bad the nerve issue is. In a best case scenario, this is Phillip Rivers 2014, where he had multiple epidural steroid injections and didn't miss any time. Of course, Phillip's an Iron Man. So is Matthew Stafford. A worst case scenario is Tony Romo, who had lumbar disc herniation surgery and missed the rest of the season. Now, where's Matthew Stafford going to stack up? We hope closer to Phillip Rivers. But this is not a nothing. And you go talk to Phillip. I spent some time with him this weekend at Antonio Gates' Hall of Fame. That's nothing. It's not a nothing to play through that.
And give me an idea, Doc, so just so we understand, if he opted for surgery tomorrow, that would likely knock him out for the season, or he could maybe be back by December or a playoff run?
Because it's so early, whereas Romo's was in season, it knocked him out for the season. If he had surgery now, I think you would expect about a 3-month recovery, which is still a significant part of the season, but it wouldn't knock him out. But by the time he came back with the Rams, where would they be, right? Are they really in position to make noise? Who knows? I'm just asking the question.
I think you're asking the right question, Doc, but I guess the inverse question of it is, you don't want to let this happen in season. I guess, and you have a great relationship with Phillip Rivers, so you would be able to give us an idea. How difficult would it be for Matthew Stafford to play through this? And even if he was able to last, is this something that could then impact his performances?
Well, yeah, and that's what we do at Sports Injury Central. We assign 6 scores, right? Just because a player is playing doesn't mean they're 100%, right? And so this is going to be one to follow. Now, right now, we have limited information. There's no video. We were thinking it might be headed here and saying it could be disc and nerve. And we got a report this morning from Ian Rappaport that it is a disc issue. And that's how we open up this Pandora's box. So we try and do the analysis, but we need more information. Is it a more milder form of disc herniation, disc extrusion, or a bulge where it's mild nerve symptoms and he's going to be able to rest and get through it? And are the Rams not worried because he's a veteran and they don't want to? Sean McVay doesn't play his guys in the preseason anyways, and this is all much to do about nothing, or is it more than that? I'm not looking at the MRIs, but I'd say this is one to watch. It's something to watch. It's not a nothing. And we've been saying that before this morning's announcement.
Yeah, I know it would be a massive violation. I wish that they would give you the MRIs, though. Quite frankly, Doc, I wish they would. Can I just ask
in
you
the
this
preseason, I just take the video. I get all these training camp injuries carted off, or it looked like I don't even get video a lot of the time.
Well, right. That's why it's like, hey, do you want to ask Doc about Justin Fields? I'm like, no, I don't. Hey, what about him? It's tough to tell.
Hey, let me tell you something. We were running Justin Fields. Everyone's saying he tore his Achilles. Here it is, this, that, the other. My first thing I said is, just because someone is carted off, it means different things in training camp. Sometimes the training room is just a lot further away. It's a cart ride of convenience, right? And then when the report came that it was a toe dislocation, the first thing we said is which toe and which joint of which toe. And once it came out that it wasn't the big toe, I went, he's back plenty of time. He came back quickly. Perfect. He's probably not 100% yet, but now nobody's worried anymore, right? So we can read between the lines a little bit,
All right, Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, SixScore.com will be helping us all NFL season. We'll be right back.
Just more and more smoke, leading to the fire that is Keegan Bradley being on this team as a player.
Yeah, I think we're all expecting it at this point. And, Keegan, he knows he can't play poorly in the playoffs. Like, he knows he needs to keep momentum going. And if he continues to play well, he's going to be on this team.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. Like, we now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him plus Pavetta plus Dylan Cease. You Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth in the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it. Like I do. Like, sometimes I get caught up in the Padres because of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
18.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7. Breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
With you right here on Game Time Decisions on a Wednesday night. And some interesting stuff from Doc around Matthew Stafford. We'll talk a little bit more about it a little bit later on. I do want to update everybody on the live baseball board because you do have some games coming near a close. We enter into the bottom of the ninth. The Rays up 5-4 against the Angels. You have the Dodgers down to their last out. It's 5-3 St. Louis. That game was a 3-1 Dodger lead. Ohtani with a market movement day. His 1,000th career hit was a multi-run home run in a game he started and threw 4 innings with 8 Ks. That's a market mover. That's a one-of-one, only Ohtani type of performance. And you see the impact right away in the MVP odds. Miami up 6-4 on Houston, looking to salvage a game in this series against the Stros. Spencer Getty made his first start for Houston in a long time. Only 3 2/3 inning, 5 earned runs, 11 hits. Not a soft landing for Getty there. And we did begin the game between the Nats and the A's, where you have Pat playing over the team total for the A's at 4.5 for a best bet. The 2 games that we have not yet covered on our show, it's Braves-Brewers and it's Mariners-White Sox. As far as Braves-Brewers go, I'm going to play the Braves, on the money line. I believe minus 132 was the number when it was in. And this is a spot where I think Spencer Strider could give a lengthy performance here for Atlanta. That pitch count's continued to tick up and up and up. He's thrown 100-plus pitches now in 3 of his last 5 starts, and he was skipped over largely due to the Speedway Classic and the weather and the mess that whole thing was. I think Strider goes tonight. I am sure it is tempting to get a team 25 games over 500 at a plus price, playing a team 18 games under 500. And if that's your cap and your cap alone, I'm really not mad at it. Milwaukee on a 5-game heater right now, continuing to play really good baseball. The Braves trying to stay out of the cellar of the NL East. I do not mind if that is your thought process. I just think I have a much better pitcher in Spencer Strider, and there's still elements of this Braves lineup that I'm not giving up on. So I played Atlanta on the money line. And then I played the under in Seattle, Chicago. George Kirby, for me, similar to Brian Wu yesterday, it's just kind of a step-up spot, I think, for these all near ace-level expectation Mariner guys, like a Logan Gilbert, like a Brian Wu, and like a George Kirby. And I think Kirby has started to get his rhythm back a little bit for this team. He, of course, came out of the gates really ugly back in late May. I think he started to figure it out a little again here for Seattle. And on the other side of it is Jonathan Cannon, who should be able to bounce back. Look, Jonathan Cannon is not great, but he's had multiple starts of 5 earned runs now. I think it's a bounce-back spot for Cannon. I played under the 7.5 in that game. I did not get involved in the one between the D-backs and the Padres. I would lean Arizona. AJ did play Arizona for a best bet, which I'm not mad at. My best bet tonight's going to be the Vinny Pasquantino 2+ hit run RBI. Trying to fade Dustin May a little bit. Chris went for a fade of both starting pitchers. It's Dustin May and Michael Wacha. He went for both teams to score 3 at minus 110. That is where we are set up on the baseball board. We will do some wacky Wednesday bets, and we'll be able to expand on some of the craziness that is offered up. But Chris's is tied to some games that are coming up in this 7 o'clock window here. It is Roman Anthony for 2+ hit run RBI, Mike Yastrzemski for 2+ hit run RBI, and if you can get through those, all that remains over in Iowa State, K-State, week 0, Texas money line, week 1 against Ohio State, and the Dolphins money line, week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts. That's Chris. That's Chris for you. Now, I will just let everybody know, at the top of this hour, we get a treat. Something that I've not been able to do in a long time here on the SportsGrid Network, and it is talk to one of my favorite people on planet Earth. That is Cam Stewart. I probably should text my dad and actually let him know this is about to happen. That's what I'll do in the commercial break, and we'll talk to Cam on the other side.
just more and more smoke, leading to the fire that is Keegan Bradley being on this team as a player.
Yeah, I think we're all expecting it at this point. And, Keegan, he knows he can't play poorly in the playoffs. Like, he knows he needs to keep momentum going. And if he continues to play well, he's going to be on this team.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. Like, we now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him plus Pavetta plus Dylan Cease. You Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth in the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it. Like I do. Like sometimes I get caught up in the Padres because of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Game time decisions with you here on a Wednesday night. And hopefully you are gathered around the television, because I am not kidding. The Walsh family is now gathered around the television. I haven't texted the house, hey, we have someone coming on. With no disrespect to the people that we have come on, but if Cam Stewart's going to be here, I need to let the people know at home. Cam, it is a delight to have you here on this Wednesday. The plan is for us to do this on all the Wednesdays, so I am glad that we can make that happen.
Walsh, it's been too long. I know your old man's a fan. I want to get a video of him rolling turkey at the bowling alley, bowling a 300. Walsh's dad's like Pete Weber. He's just he's the king of Queens when it comes to bowling, right? I want to see this guy play. The guy's shooting high 200s. This guy's he's good.
I feel like it's been a while. You might inspire him to get back out to the lane. The problem is all the bowling alleys have been closed in Queens. It feels like one after another, which is no good.
Now kids don't bowl anymore, but bowling rocks. Like, that's one activity me and my girlfriend can do. She can't lift up the 10, but we go 5-pin bowling, crush a couple beers, and it's a great night out. I don't understand these people. And you can bet on it too. Like, right? You can make a spread with your girlfriend, and I'm going to give you 34.5 pins. You know what I mean? You know how it is, Kevin.
You're
like
laying pins?
Yeah.
You're laying pins?
Like,
you can't straight?
Yeah, me and Gabe too. I remember, like, we're doing curling teasers. Can I get 3.5 rocks? Like, yeah, we'll do anything. Right, Walsh? If it moves, we can bet on it, buddy. But yeah, it's true. The FedEx Cup playoffs, and I heard you talking. I'm on the same play as you tonight, Walsh. I do like Atlanta in the spot with Spencer Strider. I know Milwaukee's been a real money-making team for me, but I think that's the play tonight. And in the late game, I kind of like the over. 2 gas cans going in the Arizona Diamondback game. I lean Diamondbacks, but I really think we can get over 9.5 with 2 bad starting pitchers going tonight. Those are the baseball plays before we get to the golf.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And we will get to the golf. We have a little bit of time here, though, with Cam. We got a couple of segments, which is great. I'm curious, Cam, because I know that there are always a couple of teams that, will stick out for you on a given season. They keep getting, put as dogs, and they just kind of work out for you. Who have been some of the teams during this Major League Baseball season that you've been able to ride with?
Well, Walsh, I am a homer when it comes to the Blue Jays, and it's funny, and you and Dane Martinez and everybody else, Kurtz, all Yankee fans. Yeah. So they've been good to me this year. Like I thought they were going to be better, but I didn't see this coming, and it's been a real pleasant surprise. They're just kicking the crap out of the Rockies, which you need to take care of your business. So I know some Yankee fans are frustrated. It's just really nice to see this team, the Blue Jays, actually play to their potential for once, and hopefully this keeps up. But the White Sox recently, Walsh, it's one of those things, like, I'm not afraid to bet on bad teams, and I'm looking at the White Sox now, and 6-4 in their last 10 or whatever. Like, they're winning baseball games and they're crazy underdogs. Tonight, I'd worry a little bit against Seattle, but they've been a really good team for me. Like, it's one of those things, some of these bad teams, they can get hot and they can get streaky. And I'll tell you this, Walsh, you know this too. Don't be afraid. Everyone's going to bet these teams. I want to bet on the teams at the end of the year with the call-ups, the guys who are playing for jobs, the teams that nobody wants. Because I'll tell you, every baseball league season, Kevin, we've been betting a long time, that these are the type of teams, these plus 200s who just bring up, like the Nationals will bring up a bunch of prospects and they'll just kick ass. Like, you know what I mean? They're playing for futures. They're playing for jobs. You want to move up from AAA to be in the show. So there's a lot of incentive. A lot of teams, guys, be careful down the stretch. You want to take a lot of underdogs in baseball. And when the stars aren't there, sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah, I also feel like recently, Cam, like every time I think I have a good over, I just lose. I come nowhere close. But the unders have started a bit good to me. So I don't know if that's going to be an up and down trend during the whole baseball season of feeling out the flow. I don't know if the totals are all pumped up because it's 90 degrees in half these places. But I feel like every time I think I'm going to get it. I played the over in the Mets game today. They get no hit by Gavin Williams. The Mets broadcast wouldn't stop talking about how terrible Gavin Williams is. Well, based on my eyes, this guy might win a Cy Young at some point in his career.
It's unbelievable, Walsh. And you see these guys who throw these no-nos, they're usually junk pitchers. Like,
they mentioned the last perfect game is Domingo Germán. Whatever happened to Domingo Germán?
That's what I'm talking. Like, that's the thing. You don't see, back in the day, like the Paul Skeens no-hitter type of situation. It's usually a fourth starter who has like a career game and nobody can hit him for some reason. A guy who's flammable, like a gas can, and all of a sudden they put it together for a game or two. So, I'm with you, Walsh, but the ball should be flying out in some of these games. But you're right. It's hard to take an under in the summer in baseball. But if they set those numbers too high, I was hoping I can get some other things for you too, Walsh. You know me, I like to bet on it all. Wanted to get you like a tennis play today, but I'm trying to put something together later on. But I do have golf. It's going to be fun with this FedEx Cup playoffs. I know Rory McIlroy's not playing this week, but
are you upset about Rory skipping it?
I'm going to be honest with you, and I do a podcast with Gabe every day. I am upset with Rory because it's 3 tournaments. I understand you have the right in the FedEx Cup if you have enough points, but Scottie Scheffler's there. Rory McIlroy is the most popular golfer in the world. Scheffler might be the best, but people, Irish people, America, everybody around the world. Hell, when he comes to Kevin, when I go to the Canadian Open, more people are cheering for Rory McIlroy next to the Canadians. That's how popular he is. Like, he is so popular, like Irish flags going wild. Like, the guy transcends golf. He's huge in Europe. He's huge here. But this is the thing about Rory. It's like, dude, like, I think you have an obligation, and I know the PGA Tour is going to change this. You can't be skipping events. I don't care if you're saying, I'm not going to do it. He told people in advance. I just think it's wrong. And these things, I know majors are the most important, but people come to see the stars. And when the stars, look at Kevin, if you're going to a Laker game and LeBron's not playing, I bet you're going to be a little bit pissed off.
100%.
Those tickets. That's the way I look at it. It's like,
and he's trying to be Mr. PGA Tour after all these years, and he's the one, like, and he wouldn't skip a major. We know that. And the thing is with these fields, and I know it's tricky, but this is basically the next level right below a major, but you don't have the Rahms and the Brysons and all that. And then you start to feel that star power lacking. And it starts to throw things off too, Cam, because I feel like if Scotty wins this week, and I don't know if you're on him or not, but if Scotty wins, people will be like, how impressive was it? Matt Fitzpatrick, like, how many were these guys really challenging him? So it throws off the whole balance of everything.
I couldn't agree more. The PGA Tour, I'm crazy. I bet on every golf tournament all the time. Hell, I bet on a kids mini putt tournament, like on The Simpsons, between Todd Flanders and Bart. That's the way I am. I love golf. I love playing it, and I love betting on it. But when Rory McIlroy's not there, it's bad for the game because he's a global player. And another thing, Walsh, great point by you. This guy's coming up with a video game league, a simulator league. Yet you can't show up for the playoffs in your sport. That's the whole thing. Crazy. He's got his hands in so many pies. It's like, listen, Rory, if Scotty can do it, you can do it. I'm not impressed at all. And the PGA Tour, I guarantee you this, they're going to have a guy lose points or something will change after this situation. It's bad for business.
Yeah, that you could tell right away they were really unhappy. And I give them credit too, Cam, because look, I defend the NBA a lot, but that's kind of the standard. You do not want to let people missing time become normal and accepted. And right away, golf wasn't like, it's one guy, it's one tournament, it's fine. The PGA Tour was like, no. You'll never see this again. Otherwise, we're just going to disqualify you. You cannot healthy no-show a tournament like this because, to Cam's point, if Scotty went, fine, I'm skipping it too. Well, then now what, right? This doesn't then feel, and they already struggle, Cam, you know this, with making their playoffs feel important because they're never going to feel as big as Augusta or the Open.
You're right. Golf fans, what it's all about, Walsh? Majors. That's how you were judging your career. That's what people watch. We watch majors. And it's hard in these sports like NASCAR and golf to do it. But when you're missing stars like Rory, it really doesn't help the situation. But we do have something different this year, Kev. We got no starting strokes like the -10s and all the other stuff. They're just going to go do it the right way. I hated that system anyway, so we'll see that pans out. But yeah, it should be fun this week. And we got golf picks coming up after the break. And I am not taking Scotty Scheffler at 3-1, Kevin. It's against my language to bet anybody under 10. Come on, you know me. I can't do it.
That's not your style. I don't blame you. The 280, it looks a little ridiculous. So we'll figure out who Cam is betting after this break on Game Time Decisions.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that rhythm. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Game Time Decisions, we're with you on a Wednesday night. We're joined by Cam Stewart, who is going to still, of course, be on the SportsGrid network throughout, but also the Sports Rage podcast that he and Gabe are doing daily is absolutely fantastic. SportsGrid continuing to expand that podcast game, so make sure you are subscribed to that feed as they are pumping them out on a daily basis and doing a great job with it. Cam, I want to get to this St. Jude Championship here. You mentioned it starts with Scotty at this really short number, but that means if you're not betting Scotty, there's a lot of tempting prices out there. So how are you looking to attack this outright market?
Great call, Kevin. And look at the discrepancy. You got Scotty Scheffler, who doesn't need to win the tournament, and then you have like Xander Schauffele at 18-1. From plus 280 to the next guy on the betting board at plus 1800. Like that's nuts. And he's in great form right now. So I did a show today with a couple other guys. They like Xander Schauffele. I like him too. Like I would actually, at a big enough price, put him in a matchup bet against Scheffler. Can Scheffler win this tournament? Sure. So what are his results? He finished 4th before T31. Not his best tournament, but he's always there, Kev. But that price is stupid. Like it's not even 4-1. Like at plus 280, no way. Like you could probably get him from a live betting perspective if he's in the mix at the end. But here's the deal. We talked about Cameron Young breaking through finally, the 1,000th winner on the PGA Tour. Who's next? Tommy Fleetwood. This guy comes second all the time. Remember when Keegan Bradley won? Tommy Fleetwood let that tournament get away. This is a perfect type of golf course for him, Kevin. He has to find a way to close the door. At 33-1, he's going to be my first horse. But out of the chalk, I do like Xander Schauffele. Sepp Straka, one of the better golfers. People don't know him because he's from Austria. He went to the University of Georgia. 42-1 for Sepp Straka, who plays great here. I really like that guy. Daniel Berger has won here in the past. Not in the truest of form, Kev, but sometimes you got to get back to that familiar course, a course that you like. He likes playing in Memphis. I'm going to tell you, Kev, have you seen the temperature? 92, 95, 99, no wind. It is going to be nuts. Like it is going to be so damn hot there. That 7,200-yard course is going to play like 6,900. So what does that tell me? Big ball hitters, little guys are going to get out there now too. So it kind of equals the playing field. That's who I like. And a big bomb pick, your boy from New Jersey, right near the SportsGrid studios. Got her up and get him down. I want to have a couple beers with Chris Gotterup. I was betting this guy before, like people even knew who he was. And then I don't bet him in Scotland. Then he wins. I'm like, how the hell does a guy from New Jersey who goes to Rutgers go to Scotland and win on a links course? And I'm like, with no experience. He was just, this guy's on fire. You have to bet him every week. And I'm a big fan of Chris Gotterup. I'd really like to meet him. First round leaders, Kev, I got a couple for you too. Guys who get out of the gate hot. Ryan Ginger, if you noticed, my drinks are back. I got one drink at the top and I got one drink at the bottom. Ryan Jagerbaum. So Aaron Rye, the good, talented Brit at 40-1. Watch out for this guy. He is smooth and he hits it straight. Russell Henley, another Georgia Bulldog, 45-1, a great price. Russell Henley is one of the best first-round scoring averages on tour. Very, very solid. Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. JT Poston, 55-1. We can do this. And Steven Jagerbaum. Me, Walsh, and Mr. Walsh, what's your order? 100 Jager bombs, please, sir, and 100 Guinness. Bring out the trays. That's what your dad will drink with me.
I'll tell you what, you'll probably get my dad in trouble tonight because he'll probably be like, you know what? Cam said it, I'm having a drink. And then they'll be like, well, no, it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. Can I tell you something, Cam?
Yeah.
You know this. Listen, Cam, I feel like when I was on the early line, like I started to learn golf a lot more. And I feel like I know like the baseline stuff. I never in a million years would have guessed that Tommy Fleetwood doesn't have a PGA Tour win. I cannot believe that that's true.
He has so many seconds, probably the best player not to win. Kevin, the guy's won 6 times on the DP World Tour. Like when he goes to Europe, he's fine. It's just, I don't know what it is. And he's been second so many times on the PGA Tour. At the Canadian Open, lost to Keegan Bradley. I'm just telling you, like every time he's there, he just finds a way and he's going to break through. Unreal. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship, 4th, like plays great in majors, almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win. He murdered the competition last week. And sometimes that opens up the door for big things. So Tommy Fleetwood, if you can just break it down at 33-1, I see big things in the future.
That's just so remarkable to me because he's finished top 5 at every single major. Like, it's not as if this guy can't perform. And usually with, I don't know a nice way to say this, but there will be like a bum PGA tournament that if Tommy Fleetwood just shows up, he'll be like 9-1 and then he wins the thing. That's a little piece of golf trivia.
It's crazy.
I'm sure for you guys, like you guys talk about it all the time who bet golf on a regular basis. I truly, truly cannot believe that is the case. Let me just ask you this, though, Cam, as far as it goes with Scotty, right? You mentioned, maybe you'll get a better number live. Is that something you would look for if you see a 5 or 6 pop on Scotty Scheffler?
Yes. And the thing is, at that price, other than him having the lead, you can get that price. One of the best thing you can have right now is Scotty Scheffler like shooting 2 under and the leader's at like 8 under. And we'll see that move up just a little bit. And if you can get that number, it's 4 rounds of golf. But I will say this, Kev, I'm not betting him this week because it's just one of those things. A lot of guys, I think, are really going to show up. They need to play well to advance to next week's tournament in Maryland where the top 50 get in. 70 this week, 50, and then 30 for the Tour Championship. I think Scheffler's going to be there. I think he'll play well. But at that number, I just can't bet him. And I actually think a couple of guys, Xander Schauffele, out of the guys with low numbers, 18-1 is a hell of a lot better than under 3-1. And that's the guy I really like if you're playing chalk.
And again, Scotty is remarkable, but to be fair, it's not as if he's won every single tournament that he's played this year, right? Like that is, it is a pretty, it almost feels to me the more, I listen to Cam, talk about this. Rory missing is almost a gift because it's made the Scotty number even shorter. But now you get all these big prices as long as you're willing to go against Scheffler. If you weren't looking to bet Rory, I think this becomes a really fun tournament to bet. Yeah.
Betting without Scheffler, we looked at it today. You can get Xander Schauffele at 12-1 and take Scheffler out of the mix, which I think I'm going to do.
It's not that bad of it. Like the further you go down the board, like a Fowler, the gap will be like 80-1 or 60-1. That's a big difference. But when you're betting, I saw Fitzpatrick. It's like either 20-1 or 22-1. It's like, all right, remove Scotty and I'll just do it at 20. It makes a lot of sense. Cam, you're the best. I am so excited. We'll keep on doing this. It's Game Time Decisions. Make sure you listen to that Sports Rage podcast and catch Cam across the SportsGrid network.
Just more and more smoke, leading to the fire that is Keegan Bradley being on this team as a player.
Yeah, I think we're all expecting it at this point. And, Keegan, he knows he can't play poorly in the playoffs. Like, he knows he needs to keep momentum going. And if he continues to play well, he's going to be on this team.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. Like, we now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him plus Pavetta plus Dylan Cease. You Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth in the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it. Like I do. Like sometimes I get caught up in the Padres because of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Back to the right here on SportsGrid. It's Game Time Decisions. Appreciate Cam jumping on with us, which is going to be a weekly occurrence here on Game Time Decisions on Wednesdays, which I'm really, really excited about. I want to circle back, though, since it is a Wednesday, to some of the wacky Wednesday stuff that we were discussing.
Again, Chris is his is already sent off into the ether. Yastrzemski did get a base knock, though, his first at-bat, which is what you love to see. So that's halfway home. Roman Anthony did, with a loud out, his first out, but a lot of time left, so we're going to continue to track that. He paired it with a couple of college football plays. Pat took a somewhat similar approach. I appreciate this one. Lynx to win the title, if I'm not mistaken, right? And it's the Bengals laying 5.5 week number 1 against the Browns. I'll just sit on the Cincinnati piece. Tomorrow's show, we have Bengals preseason action against the Eagles. Cincinnati's playing, guys. There's some self-awareness in that situation that I absolutely love. I'm excited to watch how that plays out. They do not want to let a week 1 gift opportunity pass them by again. You're getting plus 434 there. AJ goes to a market that, if you know AJ, it's not wacky at all. But if you do not, it is for George Kirby to have a no-hitter through the first 5 innings at 43-1. This is a market that, I don't know, maybe AJ doesn't want me to tell people this, so you know people don't go out there and click too much and move his numbers around. But since he's released it out into the people, maybe everybody can root it in. He's been messing around with this for a couple of other races, Skeens, Crochet, Imanaga, and he's seen the 4th inning. Like, it's been getting there. Imanaga the other day got blown up on like a bunt single, or that would have had a little bit more juice. It's something to monitor. There's something there. Again, 43-1, your base number here, 40-1, 50-1, big numbers. Skeens is going tomorrow. Like, we'll see. Let me see is there a chance the Skeens props are out tomorrow? It's not. But again, that Skeens number, that'll be something to watch, right? Probably at least, 35-1, I would imagine. Keep your eyes peeled. My Wacky Wednesday play is, I think it's a little wacky because it's almost impossible to find this market, but it is a special over, so I don't know, there was like countdown to kickoff specials on DK that I was able to find. And it was who would lead the Colts in passing yards this season. 40-1, Riley Leonard, Notre Dame's own. I thought about it. I did. I probably would have qualified a little bit more. But I played Anthony Richardson. Now, the number is plus 110. I had an NFL futures boost, which got it to plus 138. The plus 110, though, is absolutely fine. At minus 130, you have Daniel Jones. Now, there are odds to be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts that we can see on FanDuel. That is minus 350 for Anthony Richardson to win that job. Plus 255, Daniel Jones. Shout out Riley Leonard at 80-1. That's not going to happen. The Indianapolis Colts have let us know that their plan for the preseason is to give AR game number 1 most of the first half, a little bit of Daniel Jones, and then give Daniel Jones game number 2 most of the first half, a little bit of Anthony Richardson. I think the Indianapolis Colts brought in Daniel Jones to push and refocus Anthony Richardson the more this plays out. I, hand up, bit on all of this the way I think Indianapolis hopes Richardson would. Well, maybe not exactly in the same way. What I mean is, I believed that Daniel Jones had a very real chance to be the week 1 starter, and that the Colts were totally fine with that outcome. I think what's really happening is the Colts want Richardson playing week 1 against Miami, and week 2 against Denver, and week 8 against Tennessee, and week 16 against the Niners. They want Anthony Richardson to be their quarterback. I worry about health with Richardson because that has been a big part of his story in the NFL season, but he's minus 350 to be the starting quarterback. I'm getting plus 110 on him to have the most passing yards. And even if he gets injured and loses the job to Daniel Jones, it's not like DJ's a lock to keep it. Give me a little Anthony Richardson, a little pro Colts on a Wednesday.
just more and more smoke, leading to the fire that is Keegan Bradley being on this team as a player.
Yeah, I think we're all expecting it at this point. And, Keegan, he knows he can't play poorly in the playoffs. Like, he knows he needs to keep momentum going. And if he continues to play well, he's going to be on this team.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
It was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. Like, we now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him plus Pivetta plus Dylan Cease. You Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth of the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it. Like I do. Like sometimes I get caught up in the Padres because of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
With you right here, it's Game Time Decisions. Runs early in Boston, KC, and Atlanta, Milwaukee. That's double your fee if you played it. We're still scoreless in Washington and Sacramento, the A's. So there's a lot of different NFL stories that are starting to develop. We're early into the process. It's going to be the week, first week of actual preseason games where some of it you wonder, it's like, how serious is any of this? You take the Cincinnati news that they're going to play some starters. And really the takeaway to me is just that they are playing those guys. If Burrow goes out there and lights up the first drive, people will certainly be interested. If he looks awful, look, in some way, it'll be like, that's why they're playing now and not waiting. But it's not like that is going to be an earth-shattering game. Even Ashton Genty will probably get a couple of reps late night on a Thursday. We're going to talk about it. These things matter, but it's all relative. The Cleveland Browns preseason game this Friday is maybe the biggest preseason game since like Tim Tebow was a thing. Shedeur Sanders is starting for the Cleveland Browns. And we need to go back in order to go forward. Shedeur Sanders declares for the NFL draft with his eye on being a top 5 pick. As the draft process started to play out, it became very clear that Shedeur Sanders was not in contention to be the first quarterback and was slipping out of that top 5. We then thought the New Orleans Saints could maybe stop that fall. Worst case scenario, Pittsburgh would make Shedeur a first rounder in that 20 spot. And then we get to the NFL draft day, and would Shedeur actually go in round 1? Was a conversation where many of us were leaning no. Would Shedeur go on day number 2? You would think, and he didn't. And the most noteworthy pick that was made during the Shedeur Sanders slide relative to the quarterback position was by the Cleveland Browns, who took Dylan Gabriel. Because
you could find evaluators who preferred Tyler Shuck out of Louisville, who preferred Jalen Milroe out of Alabama. You couldn't find someone who had Dylan Gabriel higher on their big board than Shedeur Sanders. And somehow that team who drafted Dylan Gabriel in round 3 also drafted Shedeur Sanders. So now you have Shedeur, who is obviously going to end up in a situation where he wasn't, you would think, fighting to be the starting quarterback when you fall the way Shedeur did. But you would have him in a situation that is objectively terrible. Because you're not even the favored rookie quarterback in the room. You're behind whoever the ideal starter is and that fellow rookie. And so on top of it, Shedeur's not just battling Gabriel and the traded for Kenny Pickett. The Browns, realizing that they probably still don't have enough oomph in the room, bring in Joe Flacco, and now Shedeur Sanders, instead of being QB3 in Philadelphia, nice and cozy behind Hurts and Tanner McKee, is QB4, maybe cut, traded, who knows, with the Browns. And that's why their training camp was always going to be super interesting. Except the Cleveland Browns training camp is a mess because there are nowhere near enough reps to go around, and everybody keeps getting injured. Flacco is way too old to bother with the preseason, and I can quite frankly respect that. He's 40. But Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel are dealing with hamstring injuries, and Shedeur Sanders at some points has had shoulder soreness. Well, Shedeur's shoulder, seemingly nowhere near the level of problem the hamstrings are for Gabriel and Pickett. So Shedeur Sanders, QB4 on the Browns depth chart, starts this preseason game here against Carolina. And Snoop Huntley, called up off of the streets, has to come in now and be the second quarterback when he's realistically QB5 for the Cleveland Browns. Just because it would be unfair to ask Shedeur to play an entire preseason game. That's just a rare thing to do. So you have this Shedeur Sanders game where people will be looking to pounce. What if Sanders struggles? To some degree, you would think, well, that should be expected, right? I mean, he fell in the draft. He's still learning the playbook. He himself has missed time with some shoulder soreness. How healthy is he? But if he does struggle, for those who don't like Shedeur Sanders, it'll be confirmation bias. Told you that's why he fell, obviously. The problem is, does that include the Cleveland Browns? Do the Cleveland Browns and that organization, who told us they think Dylan Gabriel is better than Shedeur Sanders by a lot, are they not intentionally putting Shedeur in a position to fail? I don't think that's the case. But are they ready to overreact negatively if Sanders struggles in this game? I think that is on the board. I do. But the inverse of this all is, what if Shedeur's great? What if on Friday night, as we're here through the first hour of that preseason game, we update multiple touchdown passes from Shedeur Sanders? Does he automatically jump Dylan Gabriel on the depth chart? A third-round pick is nothing to hand wave. That was where they drafted Dylan Gabriel. I understand it was the very end of the third round, but still the third round nonetheless. Are they 100% ready to say, okay, Shedeur in front of Dylan Gabriel? Is Gabriel on the chopping block? No way. Absolutely not. So then, will Kenny Pickett be traded? Maybe. Will Joe Flacco be traded? Maybe. Will Shedeur be traded? Is that on the board? Could Shedeur Sanders flash enough in this preseason game that a team says, you know what? we want to give Shedeur a real chance to be the number 3 in our building. We don't think we have enough depth in our quarterback room. Is that on the board? I think it is. I think that is on the board. So you have a preseason game on Friday night where Shedeur Sanders, let's be real, the most noteworthy player, at worst, second most noteworthy behind his teammate and Heisman winner in Travis Hunter, who entered the draft, had one of the most historic and memorable draft processes the league has ever offered up. And now, instead of it being like, yeah, we'll see Shedeur in the fourth quarter, game number 1 of the preseason, Shedeur Sanders gets an entire half of football. It is incredible the way this journey has continued. So on Friday night, we get another opportunity for people to say, I told you so, good or bad, even if Sanders lands somewhere in the middle. We're going to take a break here on Game Time Decisions. We will come back and update you on the Major League Baseball board, and we will circle back to the Los Angeles Rams. Speaking of quarterback-needy teams, are the Rams all set to go? We'll ask the question next right here on SportsGrid.
Just more and more smoke, leading to the fire that is Keegan Bradley being on this team as a player.
Yeah, I think we're all expecting it at this point. And, Keegan, he knows he can't play poorly in the playoffs. Like, he knows he needs to keep momentum going. And if he continues to play well, he's going to be on this team.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
It was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. Like, we now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him plus Pavetta plus Dylan Cease. Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth of the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it. Like I do. Like sometimes I get caught up in the Padres because of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Back with you right here on Game Time Decisions, and let's update your Major League Baseball board as we are still scoreless heading into the bottom of the fourth for the Nats. How about this debut so far from Cade Cavalli? I shouldn't say, is it his debut? What am I talking about here with Cade Cavalli? He's had one start in the bigs before in 2022. These Nats and their prospects. Are we ready to talk James Wood bust yet? It's not as fun. Yarnell's not here on this Thursday. But I'm just saying, last 30 days, he's batting 117. That is ugly. That is ugly. Not good. Not good at all. We've got a tied-up baseball game now between the Braves and the Brewers. Bryce Terang with a double, a two-out double nonetheless. Even that game up. It's 2-0 Boston still, and that is where your Major League Baseball board sits right now. So quarterback questions, quarterback conversations, right? The Brown stuff is very fascinating, and we're going to cover it on Friday a lot, but we'll talk about it, the whole way. The Colts battle, right? And we've got the Colts game tomorrow, so we'll be talking about the Colts game a lot, obviously. And it helps us because that is on field, right? The Rams situation is a little bit tricky. We had the Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, on just a little bit about an hour ago here on this show. And Doc's the best, right? And he makes the point, if I just had a video, I'd be able to give you a lot more. When it comes to practice, when you don't see it happen, when it's the time of year where guys are out, it's hard to know what do you make of the situation. Well, I found myself concerned on the idea of betting Matthew Stafford early into my prep for the season process. The LA Rams, for me, were not a team I was sold on as I went through it. Roster-wise, there's certainly elements to like. The offense has as much upside as any unit in football you could argue. Due to a trending offensive line, adding Devontae Adams, the talent that is Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, who just recently was given his extension, who's been a consistent producer with decent depth behind him like Blake Corum and Jarquez Hunter, and the ceiling that can be Matthew Stafford. I found myself not as in on that defense as I think most are. I understand they closed the regular season really strong against the Niners, the Jets, and the Cardinals, but also the Niners, Jets, the Cardinals. The week before that, they gave up 42 to Josh Allen, who was almost perfect in that football game. Yeah, they were really good against Sam Darnold in the wild card game. Philly ran all over that team. And if it wasn't for the snow, that would have been another 35, 40-point performance from the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's real. That's not rewriting history. It's not. So I'm not as in on the defense. It was going to require, and you were going to need to back Stafford. I just, a little bit older. I worried about his health before this all became a thing. Truly. Now, I don't tell anyone that, like, I knew it, and here's all these tickets I had. I had the Rams under, I had Stafford unders. No. It was just kind of the vibe around it. But this is now not a vibe, okay? This isn't me saying, look, he's 37. 2 seasons ago, he only played 9 games. He's not started a full 17 in either of the last, 3 seasons. The Matthew Stafford stuff is obviously not good. I truly do not think there's any other way to describe that. And you now have a situation for the Rams where, as Dr. David Chow put it, either Stafford has surgery and misses 3 months or more, right? And they have to then start Jimmy Garoppolo for a lot of the early season, or on a week-to-week basis, we have to wonder, is Stafford okay? How's he dealing with the pain? And is it a house of cards that will inevitably fall? The Matthew Stafford props are still up on DK, and I am surprised. They are available. They are not available over on FanDuel. They took themselves out of the Matthew Stafford season-long props business, and rightfully so. Now, you could still get Stafford for all 4,600 for 4,000 passing yards at plus 160. That's a no-worry price to pay because no one can bang you on an under. These are over-unders. 3,600 and a half passing yards for Stafford, who last year threw
for 37.5. That doesn't feel great. To bet an over for a guy who feels like is just a guarantee to miss weeks of football. 23.5 over under passing touchdowns, finished with 20 last year. These unders jump out. The tricky bit of it is I'd love to get alt unders, right? We get these alt overs, but the books wisely know that people then would actually be betting on injury, which would be logical in this Stafford case here. Absolutely. You could justify Puka unders, Devontae unders. Again, the dream scenario would be to just put them all in but one big bucket. Give me 5-6 to 1. Something along those lines. But if you're out on Jimmy G, then it becomes a question of the LA Rams and their win total and being willing to go well under 7.5, 290, 6.5, 5 to 1. I will say those are the numbers that will be far more tempting to me than betting the Rams to win an NFC West, an NFC, or a Super Bowl. And to bring us back to the Kevin 7 of a week ago where we talked Super Bowl considerations, a Stafford injury can absolutely open things up for the Niners a little bit more, and the market has not moved that way just yet. We close out this Wacky Wednesday next on Game Time Decisions.
Just more and more smoke, leading to the fire that is Keegan Bradley being on this team as a player.
Yeah, I think we're all expecting it at this point. And, Keegan, he knows he can't play poorly in the playoffs. Like, he knows he needs to keep momentum going. And if he continues to play well, he's going to be on this team.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
It was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. Like, we now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him plus Pavetta plus Dylan Cease. You Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth in the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it. Like I do. Like sometimes I get caught up in the Padres because of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Game Time Decisions here on a Wednesday night. So, I think this is a good way to close Wacky Wednesday. For those that don't know, George Kittle the other day crashed the set of NFL Network to petition for smelling salts and pneumonia packets to be unbanned because he had heard that they were banned. Now, perhaps you, like me, don't really understand what all the hoopla is about. I played high school football. I'm not a maniac. So I didn't use smelling salts or ammonia packets. I also, haven't been to the gym in like a month, so we got to clean that up a little bit. Admit it. That's hand up. That's blame pie. Okay. But even if I go to the gym, I'm not using smelling salts. That's insane. And I might be talking to some people in the back of the show. I might be. We don't know. We don't know, but I probably am. Just saying. Casino Chris. Looks good. He looks good. Anyway, it turns out this is a big deal for players because the smelling salts or again, the packets, they fire these guys up. It's a big jolt. But it turns out this isn't like a pregame ritual. George Kittle, along with seemingly a ton of other players, every drive they're using this stuff. Well, the NFLPA sent out a message where they have not banned smelling salts and ammonia capsules. No. It just restricts the teams from providing the players with the smelling salts. Now, as not an expert, maybe someone is going to tell me this makes sense, but my first thought is that is really dumb. Why in the world would you, with something as ridiculous as smelling salts, basically say, George Kittle, balls in your court, find your own? I don't understand. I don't get it at all. If the use of them is not a problem, which is seemingly the belief here, is it to cut back on the use? They're too readily available. If we put it, guys just won't use it as often. If it's not right there, they got to bring their own. George Kittle, can I get one? It's ridiculous. I don't really understand. I guess we've got ourselves a situation where it is, you just bring your own. Just bring a bucket of them. You don't think a trainer's going to be responsible for bringing the smelling salts to the game? It's crazy. George Kittle's going to look up to the missus and be like, hey, I forgot to bring him. Do you have any in the purse? He's outrageous. You want to regulate this stuff? I don't know, man. I don't know. That, to me, is a little wacky. And it is a wacky Wednesday here. So let's just remind people of the wacky Wednesday selections that our team brought to the table, because there is some good stuff in there. Give me Anthony Richardson to lead the Colts in passing yards this season. Look, hand up. I'm starting to flirt with it. I feel like people can tell. Colts name Anthony Richardson their starter. Okay, Dub's going to end up back in the Colts to win the AFC South. That's just how things are starting to shake up. That's really where my head is at. Chris with an outrageous Mike Yastrzemski 2+ hit run RBI, which is home. Roman Anthony, balls in your court, 2+ hit run RBI, who leads off the bottom of the third. And then all he needs, K-State, Iowa State over week 0. Texas money line week 1 against Ohio State. That might be sharp. And then Colts money line against the Indianapolis Colts. He better hope Daniel Jones is starting in that game. Oh, Dolphins money line. That's what he better hope Daniel Jones starting. Anthony Richardson don't mess around. Anthony Richardson, a little read option, little shit to the house, anytime touchdown. I'm just saying, keep your eyes on it. Pat went with the Lynx to win the WNBA championship, and then paired it with the Bengals, laying 5.5 in week number 1 against the Browns. Cincy in action tomorrow for the preseason, which I'm excited about. AJ with a really fun one. No-hitter through 5 for George Kirby, 43-1. I would love to know what the price was for Jeffrey Springs, who is throwing a no-hitter through 4. Do not forget to get in the mix with the under 7.5 in that game as well. It's in-game live next on SportsGrid.